lettuce is absolutely bursting out of the garden beds. So today we're doing a summer salad meal prep to make good use of all these beautiful greens. So we are making 3 summer salads and we are separating it in 4 different steps. So when time comes around and you're craving a salad during the week, you can assemble it in less than 5 minutes without any annoying chopping or making a dressing, because you know what? We're making it ahead of time to make life easier for us during the week. Let's get started. The first dressing we're making is for an Asian chopped salad, and we are using peanut butter for the dressing. And for the peanut butter I'm using, it's one from Costco, which is 100% peanuts. So everything that's in there is like roasted peanuts and sea salt. Like very minimalistic ingredients, and I would recommend using a natural product. It can also be almond butter if it's 100% almond butter, and just look out for 100% nut butter without any added oils, emulsifiers or gums, because that is really important for our gut health, because those ingredients that are added in there and we don't really need really can mess up our gut health and also cause inflammation. Let's get started. To a bowl, we're adding half a cup of peanut butter, 1 lime miso paste for saltiness and probiotics, and also tamari as well as garlic powder, a touch of agave to sweeten, and water to clean it out. Now that the dressing is ready, we're transferring it to a closed container, and this way we can keep it in the fridge for a few days. If it gets a little bit too thick in the fridge, when you cool it down, just add a little bit more water and add it to your salad. Our peanut butter dressing is done. Let's move on to our next dressing, which is the Mediterranean-inspired Dijon mustard dressing. It is my favorite dressing because it's thrown together so quickly, it's so tasty, and it's really light and fresh and goes so well with Mediterranean-inspired salads, which I make most of the time. Now we're using this for our lentil salad, and the cool thing about it is that the longer the salad is in the fridge and marinates in this dressing, the better it gets. So let's get started by using a jar with around 1/4 cup of water to thin out our dressing. Then we are going to add 2 tablespoons of good quality olive oil and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Of course, we're also gonna use salt and pepper to taste, and then 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I grated in 2 cloves of garlic, but you can also do garlic powder if you don't wanna have that intense garlic flavor. And around 1/2 tablespoon of agave to balance out the acidity of the apple cider vinegar. Now shake well. The cool thing is that the mustard actually acts as an emulsifier between the water and the oil, and this becomes a really creamy dressing, and all you need to do is combine everything and shake it. It's really amazing. Now, if you leave that in the fridge for a few days and give it another shake before you put it on your salad. But yeah, this is super simple Mediterranean dressing. I use it all the time, and it goes really well with the lentil salad. I really highly recommend you try this out. I made this tons of times already, but I made it recently and my husband was like, why don't we eat this every day? And honestly, I don't know, because it's so delicious, it's so creamy, and it's perfect for a summer Caesar salad. It's a Caesar inspired dressing. Now, instead of dairy, we're using cashews. So we add our soaked cashews, we add around 1 cup of water, and then we are going to add salt and pepper, of course, 1 tablespoon of capers. Then we're also gonna add the nutritional yeast, gives the cheesy flavor because we're not using any Parmesan cheese. We're also adding 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1/2 of a lemon, and some garlic powder. Now you can also use a garlic clove to give it a garlicky taste, but because maybe you're gonna eat that for lunch, I don't want you to have garlic breath for the rest of the day. We're gonna tone down the garlic, but you can always swap out the powder for 1 clove of garlic if you like. I guess just gonna blend it up really well until it becomes smooth and creamy. I feel like this consistency came out perfect, and you can leave that in the fridge until you use it on the day of when you assemble your salad. Next step in our meal prepping process is chopping and prepping all our veggies and greens. I got some corn. I feel like summer barbecue. I want to have some roasted corn in my Caesar salad, maybe also in the lentil salad. Let's see. So we're gonna clean this up and then we gotta put it on the barbecue. I want to do this for the eggs and chopped salad, but also for the Caesar salad because it's just so good and gives so much more flavor. We're doing it a little bit more smoky. So we put this on the grill and then brush it with some olive oil and rosemary and some garlic, which is gonna be so good. And while the corn is getting nice and charred and flavorful, we are going to chop our lettuce and our greens and all the rest of our veggies. We're using my food processor for grating our carrots. There is like 2 different grating plates. This is the bigger one because I want to have bigger pieces. They will be perfect for the salads. I do 4 carrots that are larger sized just because I'm doing this kind of for 2 people, so I'm doing a little bit more. The great thing about this meal prep is that you can adjust super easily the amount you're making according to how many people you're cooking for. I'm doing for 1/2. Sometimes my husband will eat it for dinner because he has lunch at work. Sometimes he won't. So it's basically for me plus 1 other person sometimes. So don't worry, you can use a mandolin or you can chop by hand. Or you can even get a julienne peeler from Amazon, which is super easy too. So let's grate this down. And it is done. Now, it looks really, really good. You can also buy them already grated up, of course, to save some time in your prepping process. Looks really good, and we're gonna store this in an airtight container, and when we're ready to use it, we just gonna throw it into our salad, and that's such an easy meal prep or better food prep hack. The corn is ready now. We let it cool down before we cut it off and then store it in an airtight container for our salad. It's time to chop up a little bit of a quick pickle for our Asian inspired salad, and also gonna use it as a topping throughout the week. So the only thing you need to do here is chop your purple cabbage really finely and then add a 1-to-1 mixture of water and rice vinegar. You can also use a different vinegar. I use rice vinegar for the Asian inspired flavors. I'm also gonna add in a little bit of agave syrup to take out the acidity a little bit, and that's basically it. Just store it in the fridge, use it as a topping, mix it into your salad. Super simple, delicious, and has a kind of a different flavor and texture. Brings so much to the salad. Now that we are done with prepping all our veggies and our greens, we're moving on to the protein, and we're keeping it super simple here, but trying to get in as much flavor as possible. We're doing a teriyaki tofu and also a little bit of a smoky and savory tempeh for our Caesar salad, which is gonna be kind of like a tempeh bacon. Tempeh is amazing because it actually is probiotic foods, also prebiotics, really good for your gut health. And the tofu, I feel like, is so easy to make, and I'm gonna show you how you can get like a sticky, crispy texture for the tofu, which is honestly so easy to make. And we're gonna make our own teriyaki sauce. You can also use store-bought sauce if you like, but I'm gonna show you how you make it at home. A little bit more of a healthier version of it, where you know exactly what ingredients go into it. And honestly, I've made it so many times now and it always turns out great. You can also keep it in the fridge and season your stir fry with it. It's really amazing. For the tempeh, we're keeping it super simple. I'm doing 1.5 blocks, just cutting it up in even chunks, and then we're not even gonna marinate it because we're keeping it so simple. We are pan frying it in a little bit of avocado oil until it's golden and crispy, and then we're seasoning it with a little bit of smoked paprika and tamari sauce for the savory feel, and then it's all done and ready to go for your salad. we're using some tofu. It's a firm tofu. You don't need to press it, no need. Break it apart and then crumble it up on a baking sheet. Crumble it up, and then we're gonna fry it in the air fryer, which is my oven, for around 20 minutes until it's golden on the outside and still juicy on the inside. Then we're gonna season and marinate with our teriyaki sauce, which we make meanwhile this is baking away or roasting away in the oven. For the teriyaki sauce, we are combining low sodium vegetable broth, half a cup of tamari soy sauce to keep it gluten-free, some agave or maple syrup, light brown sugar, rice vinegar and grated ginger, a little bit of garlic powder and toasted sesame oil. And we're also gonna add cornstarch to thicken it while heating it up in a pan before we are dressing up our crispy tofu and putting it in the oven for another 10 minutes so everything gets nice, crispy and caramelized. Now, if you want a healthy gut, we need to eat a lot of plant diversity, ideally 30 different plants a week. Now, this can be a little bit of a challenge and a little bit overwhelming if you're not used to it. So I'm gonna show you a little hack in our last prepping step to add more plant diversity to your daily meals. We are making a savory granola with pumpkin seeds, pine nuts, and cashews. We roast it with a few spices in the pan, and then it's ready to go to top onto your salads, to soups, and even to open-faced sandwiches. Now, nuts and seeds do count as well when it comes to eating 30 different plants a week. And also pumpkin seeds, for example, have a decent amount of protein too. So we're not just adding flavor, crunch, and more satisfaction and healthy fats to our salads, we're also adding a little bit more protein to it. I'm prepping it now. So all you need to do when you assemble your salad is to sprinkle it on top. How easy is that? Now that everything is prepped, we are going to assemble our salads. Let's start with our lentil salad. We're gonna use lentils as a protein source, and I do feel like a good legume salad is so underrated. It's the heart of a Mediterranean diet. It is so easy to make, also very quick to make, and it can go into the fridge completely ready to go for a quick snack, lunch, or dinner. So we're making this first, and we're adding some additional veggies to our salad just to make it a little bit more crispy and crunchy. Because we're adding the dressing now, it can marinate over a few days in the fridge and it will stay fresh and very delicious. you so much for watching until the end. I appreciate you hanging out with me and cooking some yummy and healthy foods. All the recipes will be in the description down below. For more anti-inflammatory and gut healthy recipes, then check out the other videos on my channel and make sure to drop by at the YouTube Shorts section because I have tons of recipes there too. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one.